folks. I wanted to just give you a little introduction to this week's assignments. The topic for this week is perception of ourselves. And when you do the reading and stuff, you'll start to see all communication outside of ourselves starts here. Okay. We all have natural tendencies as far as, do we like to talk? Do we not? Are we insightful about our own strengths and weaknesses? All this kind of thing. This is the stuff you're going to be thinking about this week. One thing I like to do with my public speaking students is usually I will give them a little 20 question quiz at the beginning. And it's all about determining if you are an introvert or an extrovert. Most of you probably know what that is and probably have an idea where you fall on that spectrum. Extroverts tend to be more outgoing. Introverts tend to be more shy. That's not a written in stone rule, and you certainly can change. I think a better way to explain it is that extroverts get energy from interacting and communicating with other people. Introverts love people, love communicating. Not so much the small talk, but real, honest conversation introverts love. It's just that it drains you, and eventually you have to go by yourself to kind of recharge. Okay, I definitely fall into that category. I was painfully shy as a kid, wouldn't talk to people. Talking about perceptions of others next week. All my friends in college, when they first saw me, they thought I was kind of snotty and stuck up, when really I was just over in the corner terrified to talk to anybody. I've gotten over that. You can't teach and be terrified to talk to people. But I am still very much, I love people, but at the end of the day, y'all need to leave me alone. I'm done. I'm out of energy. When I go places with my husband, like to weddings or parties or stuff, it's almost like I can feel the little hourglass running down, and then I hit the point where I'm done. I've done all the interaction I can for tonight, and it's time to go. Another element of intrapersonal communication is how we talk to ourselves. Do we criticize ourselves constantly? Do we say nice things to ourselves? Do you talk out loud? I'll admit it, I talk out loud to myself sometimes, especially when I'm trying to get stuff together and I'm like, all right, Leslie, get it together, right? So that's something to think about, is how you talk to yourself or tell yourself your own story. We judge other people by our standards, and we assume we know what they're doing and why, because we're filtering it through our own personal experience. And we tend to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt more than we do other people. Perfect example is, I'm sure all of you have been driving and, forgot to give a turn signal and it kind of messed somebody up, or you accidentally ran a stoplight, or you just something. We've all done that. We've made a mistake. And we go, oh, well, I'm tired. It's been a long day. I was distracted, or whatever. And you go, okay, and then you move on. But if someone does that to you, someone cuts you off, someone also already, almost causes an accident, your first thought is, that person is a horrible driver. They have no regard for other people, whatever. And we say all these horrible things about them to ourselves. But we don't know them. We don't know that they haven't had a horrible day, or they have a massive headache, or what? We give ourselves that benefit of the doubt, but we don't do it to other people. Our past experience is a huge filter. What you grew up in and the communication or not that went on in your family of origin affects how you communicate on out. Personal example, my mother is a very, very hypercritical. She's one of those moms that she's going to tell you exactly what she thinks about everything, and she does not think there's anything wrong with that. So I spent my entire life, everything being criticized. And now, with my husband, when he makes a comment, he doesn't mean it as criticism. He's just making a comment, but my brain automatically interprets that as criticism. And that's something I have to work on, because I'm applying my mom filter to him, and that's not fair to him. You have to kind of put yourself in other people's shoes, because we often hear words, but we don't hear what they really mean because we're coloring them with our own opinions and, experience and I was trying to think of the word, our prejudices, all of that kind of thing. We're filtering it all through that. So you're going to read about that this week. I've got a couple of discussion boards for you to do about, kind of looking at your own communication skills and that sort of thing. And then your assignment for this week is something we call the Johari window, which I learned about this in grad school, and I think it's fascinating. And you'll see there's a video in the module, and you're basically going to watch that video and kind of get an idea of what it is. And then I've made a little printout for you. It's a Word document. I don't have it where you can actually fill it in the little window boxes, but it's there, and then underneath you're going to fill in. And basically what the Johari window does, it looks at 4 aspects of yourself. The first one being things that are known to you and everybody else, qualities you have that anybody that knows you have, and you know you have, okay? Then there's the category things that are known to you, but not known to others. Things that you know about yourself to be true, but other people don't know it. That's what the area is called the facade. And let me give you an example of that. I was talking to another professor at Southside one day about my son and how he's very hypercritical of himself. Like if he makes a mistake, he's like, "Oh, I'm so stupid." And she's like, "Where does that come from?" And I'm like, "It comes right from me. I'm so hypercritical of myself." And she said, "Really?" She saw me as like put together and confident and all of this stuff, having no idea how like crazy, anxious, and self-critical and whatever I am really underneath, because I do a fairly good job of putting up that facade. People who know me really well know that about me, but it's not something most people know. All right, another category are things that are not known to you, but are known to other people. If you've ever met somebody who like has a very highly exaggerated sense of self, and they think they're like God's gift to the universe, but really they're not what they think they are, then they need to look in this category. Things that other people know about them that they don't know about themselves and could probably benefit from knowing, okay? And sometimes those things are good. Like sometimes people see in you the potential to do something that you don't think you can actually do, or see a quality that you don't think you actually possess, and you learn, hey, I really do have that. And then that last category is things that aren't known to you or anyone else. We all have these things. These are our untapped skills, abilities, things that maybe we wish we could be, but we don't believe we could. And that's the area of exploration, of improving those communication skills, of learning more about yourself so you can then communicate and learn more about other people. So a good thing with the Johari window is to kind of figure out, you fill in what you know, but then talk to your friends, talk to your family, see if there are things that they think they know about you that you don't. It's kind of a little project just to get to know yourself a little bit better there. We have such a tendency these days to just stay inside our little box. We believe what we believe, and we don't want to kind of interact with people who aren't like us or don't have the same communication style as us. But we really need to learn to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and give them that benefit of the doubt. Like now, the minute somebody tweets something stupid, they're castigated and they're outcasts and they're horrible people. We don't allow for people to make mistakes, right? So this is one way in our perception of others. We improve our perception of ourselves, and we can start to look at other people a little more objectively and try to really hear what they are saying, what they're trying to communicate, not what our brain wants to layer over the top of that. Okay. So I hope that helps. I think this is a very interesting subject. If you don't know if you're an introvert or an extrovert and want to take the quiz, just email me and I'll send it to you. If you need any help this week, let me know. But get to know yourselves. Get in touch with yourself this week. Okay?